everybody. Happy Thursday. So you have me today. Tim is on his way back from Austin from the Back to Business, the Brothers Schooling. So he's on his way back today and we'll be back tomorrow. So I'll have a little more information tomorrow, but I'm going to try to share with you the new things that Brother has come out with as much as I can with the information that I have at this point. Sometimes it's hard when we're here at home and we don't have a lot of information available to us until Tim gets back. But hopefully I'll have a few things that I can tell you about. Some of the new things. There's some new upgrades and a couple of new machines, and there's a new fabric printer. So that's some of the new things that are coming out. There's a couple of upgrades. There's a new hoop. So we'll talk about these things. So hi everybody. So say hi when you come in. Let me know you're here, and I'm gonna not start for a couple minutes here so we can get some people in. And so how is everybody today? So Tim's on his, I think he's flying back now. I think he said he was going to be back sometime this evening. So I'm not sure where he flew from and into, but he was going to be back, he said, this evening. So hi everybody. Hi Lisa. Hi Denise. Oh, Garnet's here. Hi Garnet. So there's some new things this year. So I think it'll be fun. There's some new interesting things, different things. And then they upgraded some of the machines, which I thought was really cool. Some of the machines that hadn't had anything really done to them for a while. So they did some a couple new accessories. I haven't seen everything yet. Tim said there was a few smaller things accessory wise that I haven't really seen yet. So I will have to let you know more about that. I'll probably send some emails with some of the new things, but there was a couple of like bundles that were for the multiple needles and some things that I haven't really found much information about yet. So I've did as much research the last couple of days as I could find. So I will let you know what's new. So it looks like we're getting some people in. So give me a second here and we'll turn off the banner. And I'm going to actually share my screen with you. So we're going to go through some of the new stuff. And oops, second here. If I can get my banner to stop. There it goes. So we're going to go through some of the new stuff, and I'll just kind of show you some of the information. And at the end, I actually have a surprise for you. So we'll talk about one of the items at the very end, and I have a little surprise for you. So, all right. So let me get my screen shared here, and we're going to look at some of the new products. So there's some fun new stuff. It took me a little while to find some of the stuff. If you need to find the links that I'm going to use today, if you go, I had a little trouble Googling it and finding it. So what I ended up doing is going to the Brother Sews Facebook group. And they had the links there. So if you go to Brother Sews on Facebook, I found a lot of links that I could click on to find the new items. I had a little trouble Googling, but I did find it that way. So sometimes it's difficult to find things on their website. So that's what I found. So just a second, let me share my screen here. And let's see. Gotta get the right buttons. And give me a second. I'm going to go to this one so you can see my whole screen. Okay, so hopefully you're just seeing my whole screen. Now I am going to bring my phone up here for a minute because I won't be able to see the comments here in a moment. So I know people are making comments, so I will. Hello, everybody. So let me get my phone running here. For the comments, I can set my phone here. Gotta find the right place though. There we go. All right. Whoops. Okay, here it is. Turn my sound down. Turn my sound down. Now I can see. Okay, now I can see you. I found you. All right. So let's talk about the new product. So the first one that I wanted to talk about was, let me share this tab on my browser with you. So this is the tab that I found. They have a nice new little thing with all the different design or all the different new machines on it. And I found this one on their Facebook group. So I'm just watching to make sure somebody didn't have a question. Okay. You love surprises. I love surprises too. Okay, so this is kind of the tab that allows me to show you kind of like all the new machines, and it gives a little bit of information. So we'll talk about what some of the new stuff is. So they have updated the Stellaire. So it is now the XJ2, which is the sewing embroidery machine. And and they've also upgraded the XE, which is just the embroidery only, to the XE2. So the Stellaire has been upgraded. So for those of you who are going to ask if you have a Stellaire XJ1 or XE1, yes, you will. There is an upgrade for the machines. It is not available quite yet. I think the only thing I could find on that, most people were saying sometime later in the fall, closer to Christmas. So it sounds like maybe November. I'm not sure. Tim probably has a little more information on ETA, but you will be able to get these new features. So let's talk about some of those new features. For the XJ2 and the XE2. So I'm just going to go ahead. This on this page that I got the link for off of the Facebook page, this one has all of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go to the Stellaire XJ, which is the sewing embroidery combo, and I'll just click this button, and then we'll look at the information about the machine. But there were some nice new things they added. So I did find a tear sheet, like the little tear sheet. Oh, Tim's watching this too. Hi, Tim. Tim's watching, everybody. Say hi to Tim. I see him. He just popped on. Okay, so I did find a tear sheet for the Stellaire, and there was a couple of neat new things. Of course, it works with Artspira, which we know, because we've tried that before. It works with the app that has all the fun projects and everything in it. And then one of the things that I thought was really interesting is they added the app, the My Stitch Monitor app. So for those of us with luminaires, we had the little monitoring app. The 1055 works with that too. They must have added that to the Stellaire, so that's cool. You can it's like a baby monitor kind of, and you can walk away and you can watch the machine sew, and it tells you if something's wrong. So that's really cool. I love that app. So that's available on the Stellaire. They added a new positioning. So this was kind of a big new cool thing. They added a new positioning feature. It's called 2-point embroidery positioning. And they've added like a laser light that sort of like has a hash mark in it. And it's kind of cool because it doesn't make you have to use the registration marks on your hoops. So there's another kind of auto centering feature in the machine. So I've seen it on the 6 needle. It's been on the 6 needle. So it is really kind of neat, and that has been added to the machine. So I thought that was cool. They've added more shapes and more designs to Design Center. So it's going to have more options of design. So I thought that was really neat. Let's see. In the sewing end, so this will not apply, of course, to the XE1 or XE2, excuse me. That is the embroidery only. Let's see if I can find it on here. It talks about the mobile apps. Let's see where the sewing. Here it is, the sewing features. It talks about add decorative tapering. So the Luminaire's had this tapering feature on some of their stitches, some of the decorative stitches, and they have added that to the Stellaire, which I thought was cool. There's the 3 Sashiko stitches that we've had on the Luminaire for a little while, and that's under the sewing features area. And then they have more stitches that are compatible with the dual feed foot. The new machine, it's not in the upgrade, but the new machines come with the new dual feed foot. Like the Luminaire is coming with the skinnier one. The new machine comes with that. And they also, with the sewing machine, they added the newer foot controller, the 2-pedaled foot controller. So that is also coming with the new machine. So I found that. Let's see. I'm trying to look at my little notes here. I have a few notes that I was trying to go through most of the big things that were new. Okay. Oh, and then, so that was the sewing stuff. And then there was there's quite a few new embroidery patterns in the machine. But what they are is, I thought it was cool. They added the 3D, or in other words, they added the couching feature. So you can do the couching. You can do the couching with the embroidery. We could do couching like with the sewing machine part, but this one now gives you the couching like it is on the Luminaire, with the embroidery. So there's a special embroidery foot, and then they added a bunch of those couching stitches to it. So it's going to give you more texture. So I thought that was really cool. And then there's a new matrix copy feature, and that I have to look at the machine yet until I can figure this out. It says you can add multiple copies of the same design to your project to create a one-of-a-kind pattern. So it's sort of a duplication type pattern, or type function, but I have not seen that yet. So that's something new in the Stellaire 2. They've added, some designs, which is cool. And we got the couching in there. The couching is really fun. And I did do a video on Shields Live a while back on the couching, and it's really fun. So if you want to go back to YouTube and find the Shields Live that I did on the couching, you can see how it works. So it will now work on the Stellaire. And then the other thing I noticed was that the hi everybody, everybody's saying hi. Hello. So I also noticed that they added in the edit screen. So like when we go to the edit on the Stellaire presently, you can add stippling like around your designs by hoop size. And on the Luminaire, you could add stippling, echo quilting, or custom background fills. You can now also do that on the Stellaire. So that was the other thing that I saw here, and that looked really neat, that they were going to do that also. Okay, so that's some of the stuff. Let's see, there's the design setter stuff. It says 30 basic shapes, 30 closed shapes. So they must have added a bunch of new stuff in that. And then here's the yarn couching. Okay. And the matrix copy. So what does it say here? Create unique and distinctive designs with the matrix copy feature. Add multiple copies of the same design on your project in one-of-a-kind pattern. So that's cool. So it's a kind of a duplication type pattern, and I'm anxious to see what it does. So if you give me a second, there's actually a cool video here that we can watch on the Stellaire, and it's right here. Here it is. So hopefully you can see this. So here's the video. See if it'll play for me. So it shows some of the patterns. So I thought it was neat. I thought this was a cool video. And of course, it's wireless. So there's a lot of Disney. Okay, so here's the new embroidery feature. So that's cool. So cool. So there's some of the few things that some of the things that are available on the new machine. So of course, some of the sewing things are the sewing things are not available on the embroidery only, but all the quilting or all the embroidery stuff will be available on the XJ2 and on the XE2. Okay. So does anybody have questions about that machine? So that's a new machine plus an upgrade for those of you who have have the XJ1 and the XE1. There'll be an upgrade for that. And you will be able to get some of these new features. Art Spear is available. And so they didn't change like the physical look of the machines, pretty much the same, but they just added some neat new things to it. I like that they added some of the fills in there, and they did some of the things that are in the Luminaire and put it into this machine. So I thought that was really cool. All right, so that is the Stellaire XE2 and the XJ2. All right, so I wanted to tell you too, I just found this morning, that they announced the names of the new machines that are for Baby Lock. So often they announce kind of at the same time. So so it's going to be the Altair 2, which is the same as the Stellaire 2 XJ1. The Meridian is the embroidery only. So it's going to be the Altair 2 and the Meridian 2. And those are the two machine names in the Baby Lock. So so if you're looking at Baby Lock, those are the two that are the same as the one I'm showing you. Okay. And then I'm assuming they'll also be an upgrade for the Baby Lock machines, because if brother has one, they probably have one for the Baby Locks. So those of you who already have a machine may be able to get an upgrade. Okay. So let's see. So we talked about the stitch tapering. That was one of the things. They added some new stitches, sewing stitches on the sewing machine. The new machine will come with a few extra accessories. And it had that new matrix copy function. My Stitch Monitor works with it. At Artspira, of course, it's wireless. You can use the database transfer, design database transfer program with it. So it's pretty cool. All right, so those are the two Stellaires. So there's the first ones. Okay, so let's go back. This is the Stellaire. So let me go back a page, and then let's look at another machine here. So we got the two Stellaires. I got my notes here, so I'm gonna make sure I don't miss anything. Okay. Let's see, one more. Do I have to go back one more or not? Maybe not. I think this is it. So there's the Stellaires. Have to get the right button pressed here to get to the next machine. Where did it go? Well, we'll just go back. Sometimes my browser's been weird lately. Here we go. All right, so there's our Stellaires. So the Stellaire 2 XJ, which is the sewing embroidery combo, and the XE, which is the embroidery only. Then they have a new single needle open-armed machine, which the older machine was called the Persona. The new machine is called the Entrepreneur 1, PR1X. So what that is a single needle machine that is built similarly to like the PR 10 needles and the PR 6 needle machines. So it's open armed, as you can see in the picture here. So that's this machine right here in the middle. And it has a couple of new features. So I have to find my tear sheet for that just a second. And the new version of the Baby Lock is going to be called the Capella, is what they've named that machine. So this is called the Entrepreneur 1. All right, so the new things in this, and there was a couple of nice new things. They also have the 2-point positioning laser light for the centering on this machine. Let's click on this button to get back to the view the product here. And it'll give a little bit more information on that site. So I found the first link here on their, again, on their, the Brother Sews Facebook page. So that's where I found these, so I could find, more information about this. But the big couple of things they added to this machine is that they added that crosshair 2-point positioning laser light. It was similar to what was on the 6 needle. And then they added they made a bigger hoop. So this machine's always had only an 8x8 was the largest hoop, and they have added the 8x12 hoop to this. So now you've got the same size hoop as it's on the 6 needle, and that laser positioning on it that is more precise with the 2-step. So that is what this, and I think I was trying to see if there was anything else that was like a big major thing. I think they added some designs. Let's see. It is not wireless. That's one thing, that this machine is still not wireless, just so you know. The 6 needle and the 10 needle are, but this machine is not. So there's a USB port on this one. I was just looking to see if there was more information anywhere on that machine. Anybody have any questions about the PR? They call it PR1X, the Entrepreneur 1. So they have redesigned that machine a little bit and added, especially like the fact they added the bigger hoop, and then the auto centering feature is very nice. So they just added a little bit more ability with that positioning, so that we can get everything centered easier. So, but that is the Entrepreneur one, and the baby lock version is going to be called the Capella. All right. So that is the single needle that is open armed. I like that because you can really sew. The thing that's nice about those types of machines, if you've never considered one, a 6 needle, 10 needle, or this machine, you can sew on a lot of things that you can't sew on with a flat machine. It's tubular. So like down here underneath the machine, everything, there's an area that's tubular. So you can get a lot of unusually shaped items into these machines. And I find it very useful for like tote bags, small t-shirts work great in it, that type of thing. So these machines have a definite place, and they are really great, especially if you're doing hats. It also does hats. And it's really great if you're doing small clothing items, even larger clothing items, because you just can get into things. You can get into sleeves better. So there's just a lot of things that are cool about this type of machine. So they have upgraded the Persona, which used to be the Persona, to the Entrepreneur One. So that's another one that they did. Okay, so let's go back to that other page. This was a nice page because it had like all of the machines on here, and then I could go to each individual one. So that was nice. Okay, so let's go back here. So here's the Entrepreneur One. We're going to skip this one for a minute. We're going to go back. And then they have upgraded a little bit the PQ 1500S. So it was the 1500, PQ 1500, and now it's the PQ 1600. Very similar machine. So this is a kind of a high-speed straight stitch machine. It's great for heavy duty stuff. It sews very fast. So wonderful machine. And it says coming fall, so it's not quite available yet from what I have seen. And I'm sure I can verify that with Tim when he gets back. But a very good machine if you need something that sews straight and very fast. We still sell quite a few of these. They work quite well on like some of the smaller tabletop, like long arm tables, like the tabletop ones, the smaller ones. This works really well. They sew fast, and they have a very beautiful straight stitch. So that's another machine that they have updated and made it. And I think what it says it did, I was trying to figure out what they changed, and I think it looks like they did something with the needle threader. And advanced features such as push button automatic needle threader trimmer that allows you to save time without compromise. So I have a feeling it looks like they might have done something to the needle threader on this machine. The needle threader was always a little bit awkward. So maybe they've done something with that, because that's kind of what all the descriptions that I've seen, that seems to stick out at me. So I assume that they've done maybe a little something. I'll get more information from Tim when he gets back. But I noticed that that's what kind of stuck out at me when I read the description on my tear sheet. So the PQ 1600 is another new machine. So we've got 4 so far. Of course, they have done a bunch of upgrades to Artspira. So it's another one that they had down here. So they've done a bunch of new updates to Artspira because it also accommodates items for the new fabric printer. So the fabric printer also works with Artspira, so you can send things from your phone or whatever you're doing directly to Artspira. So, and to the machines, you can use your scan and cut with it. A lot of the sewing machines are wireless now, and now the new printer. So I think it's cool because everything's kind of integrated together. So there's a whole bunch of fun crafting things you can do with the Artspira app. Okay, so they did some upgrades there. And then they had some new accessories. And I don't have much information about this. I'm sure Tim will have some things about this. They had some new bundles that were for mostly the multiple needle machines, and then the new single needle Entrepreneur One. So like some different hoop bundles together. So it looks like they had that. And then, of course, we talked a little bit about the new upgrade for the people who have the Stellaires. So the Stellaire XJ and XE1 will have this upgrade. And I don't think it's quite available yet. I'll find out when Tim gets back tomorrow when he thinks it will be available. So, but that is one of the accessories, of course, is that new upgrade kit. So those of you who have a Stellaire will be able to do some new things with your machines as well. So wait for some more information. Will be coming out on that. Looks like they might have a new luggage set for that machine as well. Different color. Oh, that's pretty. It's kind of gray. I like that. And then I also noticed that they added some Angela Wolf has had master classes for the Luminaire, and I noticed that now there's some for the Stellaire. So I think that's cool. So they added some more master classes for the Stellaire that Angela Wolf has done. And I know that everybody really has enjoyed those classes. So that is something else that they've added. So that was some of the accessories. Okay, so we kind of talked about the new machines and we talked about some of the accessories. So let's go back to your surprise. So now I have a surprise for you. There is a new fabric printer called Print Moda Studio. Okay, so this is the printer here. And I have a surprise. It is sitting in front of me. So I'm gonna show you a few things that with the printer here. I don't know very much about it yet. We just got it, and I kind of played with it just a little bit. So I'm gonna show it to you, though. I thought maybe you'd get a kick out of seeing it. It is really cool. So if you give me a second, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen because I want to put the camera on the printer. So just a second here. I'm gonna hit the stop sharing down here, so that I can go back to, you're probably seeing me now, and then I'm going to switch my camera so we can go look at the printer. All right. So here is Print Moda. It's quite large. So you'll notice that the printer is quite large. Let me switch my phone over to, I'm going to stand up kind of and get a little closer to it here. Okay, so this is Print Moda. And as you can see, it's pretty good size printer. It's kind of tall, and I don't think you can see the whole thing very well. There's a tray at the top here, okay? And I just wanted to show you a little bit. So I got it out of the box yesterday, or either Tuesday or yesterday. I can't remember which day it was. And I got it out of the box, and I just did a little bit of setup on it. So it works. You know, the setup is very similar to a standard printer setup. So, but it also works with Artspira. So I set it up, and I'm going to hold my phone up in front of the camera today because I forgot to bring my tablet with me today. So I apologize for that. But we can still work with this. So we set it up on my internet here at the store. You know, you turn it on and it kind of asks you to do a few little things on the screen here. It's really simple. It does also print on paper. So there's two trays. So this is the first tray. Okay, so this tray comes out, and I've just got standard, you know, copy paper in here. All right, so this is my first tray. And then when you're printing on paper, you pull out this little rack here, and then the paper comes out here. Okay, so there's two trays in here. So then if you're going to be using the fabric, what's cool about this is that it actually prints on rolled fabric. So this big drawer down here, if I pull this out, this is where you put the fabric. So there's a little flip thing in here that you need to flip back if you're using the roll of fabric. And if you're using paper in this, you have to flip it forward. So there's a little thing in here. And then this roll of fabric, this is the roll of fabric, okay, that comes with it. And it's got like a carrier sheet. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of shiny. It's like a carrier sheet that they put on it. You know, the top is cotton, but this is sort of like a carrier sheet that works with the
on the fabric. Okay. And then what you do, let's see if I can angle this down just a little bit more. You can see there's like a little spot here where the roll fits. And you put this down in, there's a little slot right here. And then I'm just going to slide this fabric down in here. It goes down into that little hole. Okay. And then it's going to slide up. Can you see it right there? And I'm just going to drop the roll in that little slot. And then what you do, these trays come out, so it makes it real easy. And then you can slide this forward to the, and they told you to do it to the edge of the tray. Okay, like that. So I have it in there to the edge of the tray. And then you put the tray back in. So this is tray number 2, and that's where your roll of fabric can go. Okay. And then it's asking me up here on the screen, I might have a glare. I do apologize. I might have a glare here. Let me try turning this off. That helps. I have a light right above this, and it's a little hard. So if I tip, oh, there we go. So it asks me then, just like most printers do, you know, tray type, it'll go in here to the settings, and it came up and said, you know, what kind of, in tray 1, you know, it asked me what kind of paper I had, and in the tray 2, I've got the roll of fabric. Okay. So it's just like a standard printer when it comes to that. So you know how to set it up so the machine knows what it's doing. And this is sort of it's an inkjet printer. So of course, you know, then it came with all the cartridges with it, and the cartridges are housed right here. So I'm going to pull that open so you can see, and it has 4 printer cartridges. Very similar. If you've got other Brother printers, these look very similar to the ones that I've had before for Brother printers that I've owned. And so these go in very easily. And they're more of a liquidy like cartridge, so you can see the liquid, you know, sloshing around in there. It's a little different. Okay, so that goes in there, and then you just load it up. And then we need to set up the printer on, of course, on our internet. So I did that with this one. Second, sorry, I'm still getting a glare here. It's always hard to show screens. Okay, so when I go back home, when you go into settings, then it also gives you your network settings. And I just touch that and I set it up on my wireless LAN. So mine's wireless here. And then I just put in my number for my router here at the store, and it's all set up. Okay. So what makes this so fun? Yes, it'll print on fabric. It'll also print on paper. So if you just want to print something on it, you can do that as well. But what's so cool about this printer is that we can use it for, and I'm going to see if I bring this down a little bit, it might help with the glare. So I'm just going to bring this down for a minute so we can look at Artspira for a minute. See if I can turn this way just a little bit. Let's get the glare off of it. It's always hard here because we have so many fluorescent lights back here to see the phone. Okay, so, and I apologize, I forgot to bring my tablet today. So I'm going to go to my Artspira app here. So here's my Artspira app, and it's going to open up. Now the trick with setting this up is you need to make sure that your Artspira app is on the same network as your printer. Okay, so make sure everything's on the same network. And they've added some things to Artspira. So like, you know, we've talked about Artspira a little bit. So here's the embroidery designs tab, and then there's a cutting tab, you know, for our scan and cuts. And we've talked about a little bit of this. And look, there's a new tab that says printing designs. So you can go in and tap printing designs. Okay, so there's all these different designs in here. So to set this up, what I did is there's a little setup button right up here. It's kind of looks like a little, well, it looks sort of like a little sewing machine and a cutter kind of. So you touch that, and then it comes up, and there'll be a little button down here that says not ready. And see, mine says ready because I already set it up. So you just click it, and it finds the printer, and that's all you have to do. It's pretty easy to set this up. So I've got my embroidery machine and my cutting machine set up on here, and then I've got the new creative printer. Okay, so there's that. You just set it up just like we did our machine and our scan and cut. Now I did do a couple of videos on this, so you may need to go back and look at some of those other videos if you're having a little trouble, but it should help you to get these set up, and it was pretty easy. Okay, so we have that in our app. But then what we can do, so let's go in here to the printing designs. And there's a lot of cool things. So you can customize these. So like they have these wall hangings and different things, but then you can bring in pictures like off of your phone to make these be specific to you. So like here's one that is a welcome home banner. And I thought this was cool. So here's like a welcome home banner. And this is pretty long. So it says that the width is 51 inches. It tells you how big it is. You can resize them a little bit. But if you hit create on here, and this works the same way with a little bit of the stuff we've done before, you can actually go in here and see I can select that. And then I can hit the change button down here. And then I can actually change the font if I want to. If I click on my little keyboard here, I can actually go in then and say, I want to say welcome home dad, welcome home mom. I can change what words are here. And then here, see if I touch that, see how I can touch that photograph there. I could actually then put one of the pictures of my loved one or whoever on, or my cat or my dog or whatever I wanted, right off my phone and put that in there. And then it would be your person and their name. So you can do a lot of really fun customization here. I thought that was really cool. So there's other things. Let's see, what's the effects? So you can do some photo effects down here. So like, there's like, mono, and there's just different colors. So if you want to do some interesting effects, you can do with that. Let's see what else. And you can crop it. So like if you need to work with your picture a little bit, there's a little cropping thing. So you can change the size of it and so on and so forth. Okay. And then you can also delete. So there's a few little things we can do with each of these designs. So let's close this. So that's one of the banners. So some of these are really long. So like here's a happy birthday one, a Mother's Day one. They have a Merry and Bright. So they have a Christmas one. So aren't those cool? There's a lot of little fun things that you can do and make these long banners. So I thought that was a cool area. But then see, they have all these different areas up here. So that was banner. This is photo frame. So like these frames are like ones, like maybe they've done a long frame here that they have hanging on their wall. And this is about 42 inches long. So this would be like a banner you could hang up. And then here's your pictures. But see, if I touch each one of these, see how it makes it blue. And then I can put in my own personal items there. Okay, so it's very customizable. All right, so let's go back to, there's wall decor. So here's some little, if you wanted to make just a little picture. So they have a few of those. Labels. So here's some of the labels. Okay, so this was an example that I did, so I thought I'd show you. I found this little label here. Where is it? I have to find the right one. Oh, this one had little buttons on it. I have to find it. Oh, here it is. Okay, so here's this one. It was button label. So I thought that was kind of cool. So you can do two sizes of labels. So like a quilt label, if you need to put a quilt label on. And I can hit create. And I can tell it I want to do small labels or medium labels. So let's do small labels. Okay. And this is going to come up. Hopefully it'll come up okay for me. I don't get very good reception back here, so hopefully it'll come up okay. All right, so here's our labels. So what's neat is, see, it doesn't just do one little label. It does 6, so you can print several at a time, so you're not going to waste your fabric. So I thought that was cool. And then I can go in and customize these. So right now these say, here's my little buttons down here. I can change. So let's choose the first one. And I can change my fabric if I want to. Look, we can also do fabric. So I'll show you this in a second. You can do different colors. You can do different fabrics. You can put an image in there if you want, and it goes to the images on your phone. Isn't that cool? And then you can make your own patterns. Okay. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to change the name. I wanted it to say handmade by Janice. So I clicked on the word, the name. It says Jessica right now. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I wanted to do that. So then I'm going to hit change down here. And then I can change my font if I want to, but I want to just change the name. So I'm going to hit the little keyboard. And right now it says Jessica. So I just typed in the word Janice on there and I hit done. Okay. So now the first one says Janice. All right. So then I went through and I did the rest of my little button logos. Okay. so that they all said Janice. And then I hit done. And it asked me if I want to save it. And I'm not going to save this one because I already saved one in here. But then it brings up my printing screen. Okay. So it tells me that I have, look, I have my Print Moda printer here. You can do some print settings here. Okay. And then I can hit the word print, and it's always going to print, just so you know, from the Art Spirit app. It prints from drawer number 2, which is your roll fabric. Okay. So I have already printed these. So I wanted to show you what it did. And then I'll show you what it comes out with. But you just hit print from here and it'll print right on the machine. It's just the coolest thing. It was so fun. I did this all right from my phone. And the other thing that really is cool about it is it actually cuts the fabric off. There's a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom, and it just cuts the fabric right off in the machine so that you can just pull the little piece of fabric, so you're not going to waste any fabric. I thought that was so cool. So this is my little labels that I made. You don't need to see it print. I'm sure you understand. This is the end result. So here's my little handmade by Janice button labels. And I can cut these out with my machine. I can also add these and cut these then out with my scan and cut. So it would cut out the labels for me on my scan and cut. Because there's, if you notice when I did that, there's a little tab here that says cut. So then we can add this to our cutting information. I cannot do that today because my cutting machine is at home. So the one that's registered here, that's why it's grayed out, because my machine is at home. That's what my phone is registered to. So that's why it's not showing up. But that's what I could do, is then I could put this in on my mat and I could cut those out with the scan and cut. Okay. Yes, you can get more fabric, Denise. They have more rolls of fabric. Okay. And then what's neat about this, so here's my fabric piece. And see what it did. It left a little margin at the top and a little margin at the bottom. And then there's a cutter in the machine that it just cuts it off. Okay. And then I just pulled out just this little piece. Thought that was really cool. Then there's actually like a little carrier sheet on the back of this. So this is on here so that, you know, when you print it through the printer, it's not going to jam up or anything, because, you know, the fabric's soft. It's cotton fabric. So and then you pull this off when you're ready to use your labels. I would probably cut this in the scan and cut with the backing on. It's sort of like a stabilizer then, and you do my cutting with that on. But that is my little labels. Aren't those cool? I just thought that was really neat. It does a nice job. And there's my fabric piece, so I could just pull that off. Marcia, the width of the fabric is approximately 12 inches, so they're about 12-inch rolls. Can you print fabric you have bought if you need more? It will print on paper, and I did do a couple of things, and yes, I had some sheet fabrics that I played with yesterday, and yes, it will print on those sheet fabrics as well. It is a laser. It's an inkjet printer, so I did do a couple of samples with my fabric that was like an 8.5 by 11 piece of fabric, and I used this too. So if that's big enough for what you want to do, the thing that's nice about the roll is that the roll will allow you to do much larger pieces. I only have some small pieces of fabric. So this is a picture I did yesterday of my cat. That's Gigi. So on a piece of my fabric that I had, and it was smaller. So of course, you know, I'm limited to the size of the piece of paper or the piece of fabric that I had. So, okay. And then I did another one. This one didn't turn out as good. This was not too bad. I had 2 different brands of the fabric, printable fabric, and this one is a little bit bright. This one was more true color here. So I do not know the printer price yet, Denise. I might be able to give you some information by personal message, if that's okay, because I can make sure. I think Tim told me how much it was, but I want to make sure that I can actually announce that, because, you know, some items I can't tell you on the internet how much things are. So I could personal message you that shortly after the class, if that's okay with you. And if it's inkjet, does it need to be set somehow? Now, according to the instructions that I had for the Brother fabric, No, it doesn't say that I have to heat press them. It didn't say anything in this instruction book that I could see. When you use some of the other fabric that I tried, yes, this has to be heat set with an iron. So this is the this is the silhouette fabric, and this was, you know, little pages that I put in drawer number 1. Then I had this up here in number 1, and I printed a couple of these, and they seem to print quite well. But yes, these have to be heat set with an iron. I don't think the Brother fabric does. From what I could see, this is not, you don't have to heat set this. I didn't see anything that referred to that. Okay. So yes, Denise, I will send it to you, but I just want to make sure that it's okay. I can send it to you by personal message, but I don't know that I can say it. So I always am very careful about that, you know, because Brother has some rules for us dealers, you know, so I'm always careful about that. But there's some of my first little experiments, and Art Spira with the new printer. I just thought it was cool. So now they kind of have it worked out so that you can work with the printer, you can work with the scan and cut, and you can work with your embroidery machine all through one app. So I just thought that was really cool. There's a lot of fun new things, and that, like, these little labels are really cute. They had a whole bunch of different little, you know, we always want labels for our quilts and stuff. I thought those were all cute. And then there's some new little, they had some little tote bags and purses that you print out. And then what I thought was cool is you can make your own custom fabric. So look at here, you can get all these cool different shapes, and then you can go into these and you can actually change the colors. You know, if you hit create, then you can change like the pattern, you can change the colors, you can add images to it. There was a whole bunch of different things you could do. You can change the effect of it. Like, let's say here, see all the different colors. So like, I didn't like this color, but I like the purple, or I like the gray. So I can do that. Or I can go to, I could change the direction of, I can flip it, I can rotate them, I can flip it so I can change the direction of some of the items in there. Thought that was cool. And then I can resize it. So let's say I want it to be a different size, and it will size my design down to different sizes of papers. And I think there's a custom size, so then you can tell it how big you want it to be. So like if you need a pretty good size piece of fabric, you can say, well, it needs to be this big by this big. Okay, so you can actually make a custom size. So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, you can create some fabrics, and you can take the ones that are in here already and then recreate them into something new. So I thought that was neat. So I haven't really gotten into it too much. You know, we haven't had it very long, so I just kind of played around. I wanted to show you, but here's the new printer. I just thought it was awesome. No, the Brother fabric is all white, Denise, because of the printing. So you're going to be printing on white fabric, but you can see that these fabrics in here and the things that you do don't have to be white. So like these, so it is white fabric, but it's going to print it into the color you want. Okay, so like some of these fabric swatches in here, as you can see, it'd be red fabric here, and it'd be yellow fabric here, or it'd be turquoise fabric here. Okay, so there's a lot of new options. I need to play with the app a little bit more so I understand better, but I just thought it was cool. You know, here's a really cool polka dots. Look at the plaids. I like those. So, you know, we can make some fabric. And the fabric actually is quite nice. When I pulled this back, it's pretty soft. It's a nice cotton fabric, so it's pretty soft. And then this is just the carrier sheet part. So, but there was my first little test on the new printer. I thought it was cool. Made myself some little labels. So I wanted to make sure it worked in it. Okay, you know, everything's been shipped and everything, so I always like to check it out to make sure it works. So isn't it cool? It is kind of neat. How much does the ink hold? You know, I don't really know. They're pretty good sized cartridges. I noticed, let me see if I can tip it, Mitzi. They were pretty good sized cartridges, if you can see them over here. So these look a lot like the Brother printer cartridges that I had. I had quite a large Brother printer years ago, and I just recently got rid of it, but it was like a 11 by 17 printer, and it had very large printer cartridges like this, so they lasted a long time actually. So So I would think, they're going to be good. And you can buy these, you can buy these and you can buy the fabric rolls separately. So, but I'm sure Tim may have some sort of a little special too, on the printer as we get a little bit more information about it. So we'll be sending some emails about it and everything. So he might have some little special deals or something with it. But anyway, I just wanted to show it to you. So we have it. It's here. So if you want to come see it, and I'll show you how it works. It's pretty cool. And it wasn't hard to set up at all. And I thought the app was fun. I'm sorry I didn't bring my bigger tablet with me so you could have seen it a little bit better. But I had already set it up on here. I thought, oh, shoot, I forgot that. So anyway, we will play more with this, I think, as time goes along, and we'll do some projects maybe with it. I've seen quite a few. Go looking out on the web. They had quite a few people have been making some projects and things, and I just kind of played around. I think I'm going to make a pillow out of this. Make a little pillow out of Gigi's head here, and then I've got these. So I have a couple little samples here. I just didn't have a chance to. I didn't have a chance to get this done last night. I had to teach a class, so I didn't get it done. But I thought this was cute. Yeah. It sounds like the technology is like, yes, it's similar. I mean, it's kind of like a garment printer, but this only prints fabric. It doesn't print on a garment. So, but Brother has all of this technology, and I think it's kind of neat that they started to think that maybe we should have some of that other technology that's on their other side of their website in the sewing end. So they've added it to some of our sewing, cutting things. So I thought that was neat that now we have a little thing to play with that makes really cool, interesting projects, and we'll have the opportunity to make custom fabrics. So I just thought that was very neat, and the little app works really great. It's easy to learn. It's easy to set up. It was very easy to set this up. I mean, there is a little module too that you can add to your computer, and then you can print to it from your computer as well. So I put it on my computer, this computer, and so what is the dimensions? It is quite large. I don't know exactly. It's right here. It's about 24 wide, I would guess, and it's about the same high. It's pretty high. It's 18 inches high anyway. It's pretty good sized machine. So it does take up, a little bit of a footprint. So it's pretty long. I would guess it's about I'd say it's about 24 inches long or wide this way. It's about 18 inches high. It's pretty good sized. So, all right. So there's the new stuff. We got some new stuff. I'll do a couple little samples here and make some things that make some things up that I did. So, but I hope that helped you see what some of the new things are. The Baby Lock convention is coming up. I think it's towards the end of August. So then they'll have all the new machines available there. So let me get up here so you can see me a little bit better. But there's the new products. We got some new machines, and we got the new Print Moda Studio, it's called. So, and I think it'll be really fun to play with the app and do some things with that. So hopefully this helped you learn a little bit about the new products that Brother came out with this week. And you'll be probably seeing some more stuff on them soon. So be watching. When Tim gets back, I'll have a little more information that I can tell you. I just kind of had some basic information today. So anyway, thank you very much. And I'll see you soon. We will not have class next week because next week is the retreat. So if you haven't signed up for the retreat in the Davenport or Iowa City store, that is next Thursday and Friday. So, and then we will be back in September. So thank you very much. Have a good day, and we'll be seeing you soon. Bye-bye.